My next story is about free dental care for Canadians. Whoopsie. Well, maybe not free, but I guess they were approved for dental coverage. So the healthcare service in Canada, which is paid in by taxes, right? They paid for around 70,000 people to get some dental care done. This is by Darren Major on CBC, which I think is Canada, probably. They were approved for the public dental insurance program, but were later deemed ineligible or had been assessed for incorrectly in their copay level, said Health Canada on yesterday, the 21st of October. 5 million Canadians have been approved under the National Insurance Plan, but 70,000 were not eligible. They were mistakenly approved. Of those who were inaccurately assessed, roughly 28,000 people actually received care under the plan. So they were approved, said, oh, I've just been approved to get my root canal. I'm going to go do that as soon as possible because it's been hurting me, And root canals are expensive. Mm-hmm. So they go there. 28,000 of these 70,000 people who were mistakenly approved actually went and got care under the new plan, which means, I don't know what that means. Somebody's in big trouble, I guess. That's a lot of money, I guess. I have no idea. An error was recently discovered with respect to how income was calculated for some applicants at the time of their eligibility. It was being determined. The system fix has already been implemented to correct this error, the statement said. But, okay, this is the good news. No repayment is required. Those who did receive care will not have to repay the amount covered by the public insurance plan, the statement said. I mean, it was their mistake. Health Canada has been touting that more than 5 million Canadians are covered under their plan, but only about 3 million have actually accessed the coverage. So it's nice that 28,000 additional people were able to cover that. So, I guess think of it this way, right? Let's say you put in $1 billion to cover dentistry in Canada for your whole entire population, right? But you only if you get approved for that coverage. So if 5 million people are approved for that $1 billion pot of dental coverage, only 3 million are using it, there's still plenty. There's plenty for 28,000 accidental approvals, right? That's a drop in the water, as they say, and a drop in the ocean. Sorry, a drop in the ocean, as they say, and the actual cost that costs them. The National Insurance Program subsidizes the cost of dental care for Canadian residents with a family net income below 90,000 Canadian dollars, I'm assuming. So if they don't have access to the private insurance plan, the program helps pay for a range of dental work, including cleanings, fillings, and dentures. Health Canada says that on average, each patient has had 800 Canadian dollars in expenses covered per year. That's pretty nice. My dentistry cost me, I think, $200 when I had an emergency. My fillings fell out, and I had to get them put back in because there was just a hole in my tooth. Collecting all sorts of who knows what, And you want to make sure you get those covered because you don't want to get an infection in your gums because it goes straight to your brain. You can die. So I had to go to an emergency thing to get it done as soon as possible.
Lots of cheese.
That taught me cheese. And I know for a lot of people, 200 euros isn't a lot, but for me it is, okay? And I wasn't expecting it. And I'm sure that was subsidized because of health insurance programs like this that make sure that it doesn't cost too much. So a lot of people have had at least 800 Canadian dollars of expenses covered thanks to Health Canada. The Canadian Dental Care Plan began in May of 24, last year in May. Then children and Canadians who received a disability tax credit. But this year in May, they expanded it to all eligible Canadians. The massive multi-billion, I knew it was billions, dollar public insurance program was brought in as a result of the NDP, which propped up the previous Trudeau Liberal minority government for 2 years in the House of Commons in return for major social programs like dental care. That is a great example of how having a coalition with another party can improve life right there, right? Trudeau didn't have enough votes to get a majority, so he teamed up with NDP, and then NDP used their leverage to say, hey, how about dental care for every Canadian? You're welcome. But there you go. Whoops! Clerical error, but not too much of a bad one, so. Congratulations on everyone who got some dental care done since May.
And I'll associate it with this saying I heard from my dentist a long time ago. It says, remember, you don't have to brush all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep.
And that's why I only brush my back teeth.
I screwed up.
My
Frank
chompers.
Sinatra did not record. Frank Sinatra did not record with Benny Goodman. It was Henry James who was part of that orchestra.
Who was also a clarinetist.
No, Henry James was a trumpet player.
Fucking trumpets again. I told you.
But the biggest clarinet player in competition with Benny Goodman at the time, you might have heard of Artie Shaw, right? Artie Shaw, big. In fact, Artie Shaw and Frank Sinatra both married the same woman. Not the same time, of course, but Ava Gardner as their ex-wife of both of them. So they didn't get along at all. They were fighting over the same woman.
Maybe that's why you had them in the same place, because of that.
That was Artie Shaw. Yeah. No, that was Artie Shaw, not Benny Goodman. I was just looking up the history of band leaders while
famous. I know there was a famous clarinetist.
To review, Artie Shaw and Benny Goodman were both clarinet players, but Frank Sinatra did not record with either one of them, although he did marry Artie Shaw's wife. And he did record his first recording with 1939 with Henry James's big band. I Only Have Eyes for You. Oh, no, that's not true. But Sinatra did appear in a recording of I Only Have Eyes for You, the Benny Goodman Sextet released in 2015. So there you go. While they were both alive.
Another sextet, huh?
Yeah, sextet. 6 people. Let's not get all dirty-minded. All right. Anyway, so Sinatra did record, but it was never released during his lifetime. He did record Benny Goodman. So there's setting the record straight. He recorded for Henry James in 1939 was his first appearance on recordings.